Happening right now, the governor warned it was coming in. It begins this morning, a roundup of deadbeat parents who are not paying their child support. So, starting in about an hour at 6 o'clock this morning, police and sheriff's deputies all over the state will be out arresting people with bench warrants for not paying up. If you remember last week, the state had a child support amnesty program where parents could take care of their late child support and not get arrested. But now that is all done and over with. We have a crew out with police in Albuquerque this morning. See what officers find later today, right here on News 13.
UNM's football team has a new coach, a new field, and unfortunately a new problem. A player is arrested after police say he was driving drunk and almost slammed into a cop car. Police say Devonta Tabana was drinking in downtown Albuquerque Saturday night, ran a red light, and almost slammed into a police car. They arrested him on drunk driving charges. The next day, Tabana told his coach, Bob Davey, about what happened. The coach says Tabana will not play this Saturday.
I'm glad the situation wasn't worse than it was. I mean, it could have been a catastrophic kind of thing.
Coach Davey has not said when Tabana will play again. Albuquerque police need your help this morning. They're looking for a woman who vanished from her home 2 weeks ago. Investigators need to find Kathy Payquin. They're worried for her safety. Sources tell us a man named Chris Blaitner, who had been living with her, could have been involved in her disappearance. Blaitner is out of jail on bond right now. He was arrested and charged with allegedly killing a drug dealer back in 2007. In court on Friday, prosecutors said they had linked Blaitner to a missing persons case that involves tens of thousands of dollars, but they did not name who the missing person was.
A man who escaped from a jail in Grants is now set to spend more than a decade in federal prison. Yesterday, a judge sentenced Dustin Dean to 15 years in federal prison on firearms charges. Back in April of last year, Dean broke out of a local jail in Grants. Investigators caught up with him about a month later. P&M is out more than $1 million this morning, and the reason? Copper crooks. P&M says thieves are cutting power lines to steal the copper inside of them and did this to a number of power poles here on Rio Grande a few weeks ago. In fact, P&M says this has happened to 2,500 wires just this year.
It's happening all over the city. It's happening all over the state. You know, for example, rural areas are susceptible because you have fewer eyes watching.
The wires that were cut were ground wires and are not usually dangerous, but P&M says you should not go near them just in case they are live. Well, police in Carlsbad are now looking for whoever is stealing lawnmowers. Check out this surveillance video. It's from last month at the Sutherland's Home Improvement store. You can see two people sneaking around the front of the store where the lawnmowers are. Police think the two took two mowers worth more than $1,500.
Orange barrels are going up on a busy part of an Albuquerque road. Work will soon be in full effect on Eubank Boulevard between Holly and Wilshire Avenues in the Northeast Heights. And it's going to be like this for a few months, folks. Crews are fixing the road, adding a divider, bike lanes, and a pedestrian trail. The road will be closed starting next week. The project won't be finished until January. And don't forget that part of Lead Avenue is closed near downtown Albuquerque. This was the mess it caused yesterday. It is shut down from Bravo to 2nd Street because of a movie shoot, and scenes from the new movie, Two Guns, starring Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg, are being shot on the bridge. Our Sky Ranger shot this video of the movie set, and it looks like they set up a scene to make it look like a border crossing. Now, because of that shoot, traffic on Cesar Chavez was backed up for miles during rush hour yesterday. The overpass won't reopen until possibly this Thursday. And speaking of roads, a new list out by the New Mexico Business Weekly shows what the top 5 traveled intersections in Albuquerque are. Coors at Montano and Irving, and Montgomery and at Wyoming and San Mateo are among the top 4. Now, the #1 spot went to Paseo del Norte and Jefferson near I-25. By the way, a proposal to revamp Paseo del Norte at I-25 is being talked about right now. Later in the newscast, we'll tell you where things stand and how you can have a say on the project.
Governor Susana Martinez is getting ready for her primetime speech at the Republican National Convention. She's on the convention stage in Tampa yesterday and took this picture showing us what she will see when all of us see her. Governor Martinez is still set to speak tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Mountain Time, our time. That is right before Paul Ryan, who is running for vice president. Lieutenant Governor John Sanchez is also at the convention. That means Secretary of State Diana Duran is in charge of New Mexico while all of them are out of town. And speaking of the governor, she's helping a 9-year-old boy from Mexico with a massive tumor. Governor Martinez sent a letter to the Immigration Department asking that the boy, named Jose here, get a year extension on his visa so he can stay in the U.S. and go to UNM Hospital. Doctors say that tumor on Jose's shoulder and neck that you just saw is so big that it affects his vision. And unfortunately, it may move into his heart. Last month, Homeland Security helped Jose and his family move from a gang-infested neighborhood in Juarez to the U.S.